Well, as we've been talking about over the course of this show, Hollywood's in a tough spot. And if you work in Hollywood, especially here in Southern California, you've seen some difficult times. According to Labor Department data since 2022, you see a 30% reduction in the people who work on both sides of the camera on set. But there's also an impact on local businesses who rely on business from those workers. We talk about the secondary and tertiary impact of Hollywood, and all of this is impacted by fewer projects being made. All this is also a result of shows and movies filming overseas to get some more favorable tax credits. UK, Canada, but also other states like Georgia where there are uncapped tax credits. All of this is contributing to a phenomenon we talk about as runaway production. You're taking a look at Los Angeles City Hall, a beautiful shot, and you see there a big conversation within those corridors of power about what's happening there in Hollywood. Now, last year, the state of California raised the cap on its film and television tax credit program. And we have a lot to talk about when it comes to tax credits and also the kinds of legislative proposals we've seen on a city council level. Joining me now is someone who's helping to lead the push to keep Hollywood productions local. It's Los Angeles City Councilmember Adrien Nazarian, who represents the city's 2nd District. We're happy to have you back, Councilmember. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
You know, you just saw some of those numbers, and I don't need to tell you it's been a tough time. It is why you have put forward some of these proposals that have passed unanimously. We'll talk about them in a second. But 30% reduction, what is the state? What do you hear the state of Hollywood?
I hear it from friends, neighbors, constituents, residents, Angelenos from all walks of life. Because let's not forget also, the entertainment industry is not just this separate industry amidst the city of Los Angeles. Yeah. It's the industry that put Los Angeles on the map, made Hollywood into Hollywood. Otherwise, Hollywood was Hollywoodland before that. And so it's made Los Angeles what it is. Los Angeles has grown because of the industry, all the niche markets that have come about because of the entertainment industry, and the fact that technology also is the innovating driver of economy right now, thanks to a part because of entertainment industry and the folks that came here and built up the industry.
And you're hearing that it's tough times. Are you hearing things turn around a little bit?
I'm trying to do my part from the city to roll out the red carpet and make it easier and lessen the friction of filming in Los Angeles.
We've been hearing from a lot of these entertainers, actors, writers about how dire it is. And I want to play you a little bit of David Spade, SNL comedian, lives in Los Angeles. He co-hosts a podcast with Dana Carvey, and they were talking about the state of things on the CBS Radford lot. You're smiling because Spade is funny, but this is serious. Let's watch it.
I was on the lot at CBS Radford when we were doing Just Shoot Me. Oh, a couple of people remember. And also they were doing Seinfeld. And I'd see him on his bike. It was the greatest lot. Of course, just filed for bankruptcy, the lot. Terrifying in LA. Thanks, Karen Bass. Thanks, Gavin.
Okay, he just invoked our mayor here in Los Angeles, Mayor Karen Bass. Do you think it's fair to point the finger at government on this?
No, and here's the irony. I understand when you get frustrated when you see something, and the first person you're going to obviously blame is the person in charge today. Ironically, Mayor Karen Bass was the speaker when the first tax credits were passed. And that was passed because I was chief of staff to then State Assembly member Paul Krikorian, and we worked day and night in order to author the bill and pass it. And it came down to a budget play that we were able to put together a Republican and Democratic stronghold of votes in order to get this tax credit passed.
I think the point there, and you're right to defend the people by name because they were named by David Spade, but the idea of government being asleep at the wheel a little bit, as states like Georgia, jurisdictions like the United Kingdom have lured away, whereas there are friction points, which I know that you are working on at City Council, but those friction points were allowed to fester, no?
So this fix that I was just talking about was back in 2009.
Right.
But the problem started in the late 80s. Where you saw Canada and England and other states already giving tax credits. So this was nothing new.
Right.
It's been happening for the last 35, 40 years. We've just been asleep at the switch and not really paying attention, because who would have thought entertainment industry would leave Hollywood, would leave Los Angeles?
Yeah, it's like thinking about cars leaving Detroit. It seems impossible until it happens all of a sudden. So talk to me about the 7 proposals that City Council, that you put forward, that City Council has voted on unanimously, and the difference they're going to make.
So I treated this as a campaign, Keep Hollywood Home. And the minute I took office, I started having meetings with folks on the private side, on the producers, studios, independent filmmakers, labor union, local unions, and then focused also on all the city agencies and departments that provide permitting.
Right.
And have a hand in this process, because I wanted to really understand and take a good assessment of what was happening and where the needs were. So the first series of motions that I introduced were to address the low-hanging fruit. All the smaller, simpler, relatively simpler things. There's nothing simple in government, but simpler things that we can address in order to make things friendlier, filming friendlier. The next series of motions that I've introduced are going to be working more on the systems. What are the things that we need to be tweaking in order to make filming easier and more welcome?
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Film LA in our final moment here. People have looked at this permitting agency that also gives us the data on production days, and they've said, do the permit prices need to be so high? One of the friction points that we've talked about, and people point their finger at Film LA saying, where's that money going? What's your sense of what's happening? You've called for an audit, right? What's the audit about?
I've called for an audit because I want to see, look, first of all, audit is shouldn't be a bad word. It's a healthy thing. We need to go through self-evaluations on a very regular basis so that we know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. So that's one. But then when you look at how many monitors we sometimes require of a film shoot to have, on one series, you can end up having, on one shoot, you can end up having 5 to 6 film monitors.
Right.
Now, they're not all coordinating with each other as well, which creates even more problems.
Right.
So these are the things that we need to make sure that we're not getting in the way of filming, making it easier.
Yes, and you also called for a report from the departments that have been required by Mayor Karen Bass's executive directive to reduce some of that bureaucracy. And we have to see how it all plays out. But it's a start, it's a conversation. We don't know if it's too little, too late, but I know you don't think so. That's why you're doing this stuff. We're going to keep on talking to you about it. It's so great to see you.
Thank you, likewise.
Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Adrien Nazarian of LA City Council. A big conversation on what's happening in Hollywood. And when we come back, we'll have a big conversation what's happening in AI, because Anthropic has itself a very interesting model that broke out of its sandbox and is sending emails to its programmers. Stay with us.